you so much for joining us for Ordinary Stories. Could you first introduce yourselves to us?
Yes, my name is Anna. I'm part of the congregation here at Emmanuel. I'm married to Paul, and together we are serving the Lord with the student ministry. So it is a privilege to see how the Lord is working in the life of the student and also in our own life too. And it's very amazing and encouraging to see the passion that the new generation have for Jesus Christ. So we are very excited.
Yeah, and Paul is here as well.
I'm Paul in the congregation here. I'm originally from London, East London, and I was first invited to church there by a friend. I went to a baptism and I started to go along and get my faith in Christ. And after that, I got a job on the campus in Loughborough, and I've been more or less in Loughborough many years. I've been working on the campus for about 20 years, and enjoy living here, and that's it.
Amazing, that's so good. And yes, I'm sure you're going to talk more about the students, but if anyone comes at 11 o'clock in the morning when the students are here, it's such an encouragement just to see this huge crowd of young people who are putting Jesus number one in their lives. It's amazing, and you've been so faithful in supporting them. Now we're here really to talk about how amazing our Lord is, and what difference has he made in your lives?
I grew up in Spain with a church tradition, but no life change following Jesus. And I came to England 22 years ago, and it's when my life changed. I was living with a Christian friend, and she had something that I didn't have and I wanted, and was a closer relationship with Jesus. It wasn't an overnight change, still God working in my life. But I started praying more, seeking God, studying His work, invite Him into my life. So surrender part of me that I was my own God, and I started experience His peace, the hope, the freedom that He gave me. And the more I surrender to Him, the more I experience the fruit of the Spirit. So God has transformed my life over the years of getting to know Him. And it have not been easy sometimes. I just learned in the process to trust Him, know Him that His ways, they are better than my ways. Sometimes I don't understand. I 100% sure that He answered all my prayer, even if the answer that I got is not the one I want. But I trust Him that He knows what is the best for me. So I remember we struggled to having children, and I used to say, God, why? And I thought, it's not for me to ask God the why in this world, and not even ever, He have His own reasons. And now it's like going back, and I know that was the best for me and for us. And so it has been helping me in my journey, He has been strengthening me all the way through. And yes, I only realize now that I only need Him. It's
Amen.
Like, yes, He is enough for me, and that's it. So I have been. I'm very dependent of God in everything. It's like He has been shown as my healer, as my protector, my provider. So I'm very thankful for what He's doing in my life.
Oh, Anna, thank you so much for sharing. It's such an encouragement to know that through disappointment, significant disappointment in our lives, that he doesn't run out, and he will stand firm with us. And yeah, Paul, over to you.
Yeah, so before I said how a friend invited me at about student age to a baptism, and at the time I come from a completely secular background, family and stuff, so when I just tried to practice the words of Jesus, and it was quite radical. I found the words of Jesus very powerful to look at and read, and I tried to practice those, and I found that quite life-changing. And then God opened up a lot of things. I knew that God would get me into international things and international ministry, and when I did everything was based, I lived around London, studied there, and I went abroad in a kind of miraculous way to live in a different country from a placement year, and I was trying to stay in London in a weird way, but that's the door God opened, and it was quite amazing. And I've seen God work in many ways since moving to Loughborough as well, how we met as well, and also like the house we live in was like an answer to prayer because it was sold to someone else and they weren't interested in the offer I was making. And then lots of things where I sort of met a guy, and I tried to pray. I think the kind of prayers that God always answers are things like, if you want to serve him or help people, God always gives you an opportunity to do that. So times like I was in a supermarket and there was an international student asking about power adapter, and I gave a very quick, it was a very busy time in the supermarket, and I just gave a quick answer, and I thought I should have stopped and helped him, invited him to some things. And I never saw him after that, so I prayed. I said, well, God, if you want me to help him, I'll just pray I meet him again. And there's obviously a lot of people in Loughborough. And the next morning I was going to work on the campus, cycling right through to the very end of campus where my office was. And the only guy I saw early in the morning was him. And not only that, he was starting his first day and he was working in the same office. So we always used to meet up and have tea and coffee, and I used to invite him to all the things at church, and invite him along to the international student things. And another time I was... Hang
on, I think we need to stop and just reflect on that. I mean, how joyful and funny God is that he would do that. And that thing that you said seems important, that he always answers prayers when you ask to serve or obey him.
Mm.
That's amazing.
I think, God will open the door where we're trying to put him first. So not for things that we want particularly, but he'll open the door randomly that we don't expect, like that occasion. And
then you said something else about you felt sort of bad that you hadn't answered that call immediately, and you said, I should have. And I recognise that in my life. I should have, why didn't I? And what you did was you put it back into God's hands rather than carried that guilt around, and he was faithful in that.
Yeah. Another thing happened. I just tried to live, and if I met people on the street, I read some books as a young Christian, like Jackie Pullinger and Brother Andrew, and they were quite inspirational. And I thought, if I can do that, and it's basically if you meet someone on the path, on your route, and you think, why has God put that person in my path? Is there something I need to share with them or help them in some ways? And many ways, many times that happened, and even sometimes in my own house where I was just praying or worshipping. I remember the first house I was renting with some other people. They were all gone for the weekend, and I was just playing piano, and I was having a nice relaxing Saturday morning. The house was empty, and in these words dropped in my mind that two people come and knock on the door, and I wasn't interested, 2 Jehovah's Witnesses and stuff, and I really wasn't I was thinking, I'm having a nice time, I don't really want to talk to anybody. And then 2 minutes later, the door knocked, and my heart started to beat because I thought, is this going to be no one comes to the door on Saturday morning? And opened the door, and I could see 2 figures, and it was 2 young people, same age, and they were oh yeah, they gave a spiel, and I asked them, are you Jehovah's Witnesses? They said, yes. I said, well, you better come in. And then I was like, I was not going to be very open to them or talking to them, because I was kind of in my own mood and I was happy in my own words. Probably would have given them a short answer. But I said, okay, you better come in. So they came in for an hour and we were just talking about different things. And I was trying to pray quickly, God, what do you want me to say to them? Like, why have you told me they're coming and why are they here? So I'd better invite them in. So I listened to what they had to say, and I pointed out some bits of the Bible that God has spoken to me about, and then they left and they were like quite surprised. So
I bet they were, and you were
I
as
was
well,
shocked.
clearly.
Afterwards, I was really shocked because I was like, there was no one around to tell, and I wanted to tell somebody. So I phoned one of my Christian friends and I said, you can't believe what just happened. So sometimes, not every day, obviously God, a normal day, it might be a boring day and we just try and serve God. But other days, the unexpected can happen when we follow God, because God's amazing and
He is amazing.
you just don't know what's going to happen.
So let's finish then with
Yeah.
a verse. Anna, would you like to share yours?
I have two verbs. One is Proverbs 3:5-6, where it's trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. The other one is Isaiah 40:31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary, and they will walk and not be faint.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you. Paul.
The one I've got is from Matthew 6, where Jesus is preaching Sermon on the Mount, and there's just these two verses. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. And it's just a short two verses from that chapter where Jesus is encouraging us to have a higher view of things and not get trapped in the here and now. And we all have busy lives and we can get trapped in that stuff, thinking about the next thing. And this verse meant a lot to me when I was an early Christian, and it still does today, because if we seek God and his love for everyone first, all the rest of it, stuff we worry about, normally sorts itself out one way or other.
So true. So true. Thank you so much, you two, for sharing.